Tonight we're going to be examining ratios and proportions. This picture is definitely one that's been photoshopped, but I like it nonetheless. It's a very cool kind of almost lily pad type hand thing. First of all, let's do a little bit of a reminder on vocab. A ratio uses division to compare two numbers. You need to write ratios in simplest form. They can be written in three different ways: A over B, A colon B, and A to B. You read all of them the same way, A to B. We're primarily going to be dealing with proportions today. Proportions are equations that state two ratios are equivalent to each other. We can use this idea of proportions to actually calculate for a missing variable. With example 1, we're going to need to cross-multiply in order to eliminate some of the extra stuff going on. So when we cross-multiply, we'll have x times 11, which is 11x, equaling 4 times 24. Let's see. 4 times 4 is 16. 4 times 2 is 8, and carry the 1 is a 96. So we have 11x equaling 96. We need to eliminate multiplication by 11. To do that, we'll divide both sides by 11. And let's see, that leaves us with 96 divided by 11. Rounding to the nearest tenth, that would be 8 7/10. If we were to substitute that back in for our x and make that 4 over 8 7/10, the fraction should be relatively close. They may be slightly off because of rounding, but let's double check. 4 divided by 8 7/10, so that's 0.45977, so on. If we take 11 divided by 24, that's 4.58, and so on. So you can see that we're really close. We aren't quite out too many decimal places, but since we did round, that's understandable. But those two ratios are proportional then with using a rounded 8 7/10. Example 2 is a bit more complex, but we still start out the exact same way. Step 1, we're going to multiply. So that's going to be 3 times x minus 4 equals 9 times x. Now with the 9 times x, you can put parentheses, but it almost makes it more confusing, so we don't have to. The left side, we definitely do need our parentheses. You're taking the 3 and multiplying it by every single piece of the denominator. So we're going to have to use our distributive property at this point. So 3 times x is 3x. 3 times 4 is 12. Make sure to bring down your negative. So we've got 3x minus 12 equaling 9x. We've got a variable on both sides, so we need to get rid of that variable on both sides. We could subtract 9x from each side, or we can subtract 3x. Either way is going to work. I'm going to choose to subtract 3x. Subtracting 3x from each side, that leaves me with negative 12x equaling 6. Divide both sides by negative 12. And we're left with an x value of a negative 1/2. Try this one on your own. Even though our 3x plus 2 and our x are both showing up on the same side of the ratio and the fraction, it's not going to make a difference. You're still going to approach it the same way and cross multiply first. Pause your video at this point and try this one. You should have gotten an x value of 1 2/3 or 1.6 repeating. If you did, give yourself a smiley face. It can be kind of a V smiley face, apparently. If you did not, make sure that when you multiplied by your 5 that you distributed to both the 3x and the 2. Homework problems, just 2 tonight. Be ready for the quiz tomorrow. Have a great evening.